Why did you send me here? You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
The Man of Steel provides a burst of heavy metal to kick off this week's edition of CNN Preview. After premieres in New York and London this week, the film will open just about everywhere by the end of June, with superfans in Brazil and Japan having to steel themselves for a little longer until July and August, respectively.
Superman is one of those universal superheroes, I think. It's genuinely not just an American thing. I understand it's the third most recognizable symbol in the world, the S-Shield. Yes, I grew up knowing about Superman, but I wasn't a comic book reader myself. Plenty of comic book readers in the UK and worldwide, but I was not myself. I definitely ran around the garden with a tea towel wrapped around my neck saying I'm Superman and trying to beat up my older brothers. But it was... I wasn't a comic book reader until I got the job, and then I did my research and my source material.
I'm a comic book fan, so really the biggest pressure I put on myself was, you know, could I honor this character, this like 75-year-old, like top of the heap superhero that really is the why of superheroes in the modern world, and that's the real challenge. You know, can you honor that guy?
People will say what they want, but the bottom line is this is the best Superman that's ever been.
You're right.
You
That's
know?
what I was going to tell you.
It's like by so many miles, it's crazy. You know, just the one sequence that you've got where Kal-El is learning how to fly. You know, of course it's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? You don't just push and fly, and it's not gentle. You know, you fly. That's tough.
Superman is aiming to soar into that elite group of comic book characters who've taken more than $1 billion at the box office. It's a field led by Marvel's The Avengers, with a heroic $1.5 billion. But editing the third biggest movie of all time didn't manage to keep director Joss Whedon busy enough. Incredibly, he somehow managed to squeeze in a quick version of Shakespeare's comedy Much Ado About Nothing.
That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
I didn't ever think that lady would have loved any man.
No.
Despite a difference in budget of more than $200 million, Whedon says he encountered similar challenges on both movies.
You're always running out of daylight, and every schedule is just too short by a day or two. And your actors all have other jobs, so you can only get them for this time or that time. Yeah, in the end, you're going for the same thing. You want people to laugh or cry or be excited or be afraid, and you want as much of that as you can possibly get. The idea is always to have people come out of any of the movies feeling like they're in that world, like they didn't just watch something, they got to be a part of it.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
With credits including director, producer, and even composer, this is as much a labour of love as a box office blockbuster.
Well, clearly we're going to outgross The Avengers.
And finally, 100 artists have chosen 100 protest songs to make their voices heard. Ed Sheeran, Kid Rock, Mumford & Sons and Elvis Costello are amongst those taking part in Agitate. Organised by One, co-founded by Bono, the campaign aims to end extreme poverty by 2030. It's been timed to coincide with the G8 Economic Summit in the UK.
Soup on a campfire under the bridge.